listening on Tuesday, and I think I heard Dr. Andrews say that prayer doesn't change God, that God's plan is set for all eternity, and prayer doesn't change God. And I'm kind of hoping, well, not kind of, I'm really hoping that I misheard him, because I believe that you can appeal to God and ask God for things, and that God will listen to you.
Okay, thanks. I really appreciate the question. Well, the Catholic Church definitely teaches that we can pray and ask God for things, to be sure. And that sometimes what we ask for may come to pass, and that is in accord with God's plan. Rather, that our prayers enter into the divine plan as an instrumental cause that he predetermines he will use to bring about what he's already decided to give us. So it doesn't make prayer of no effect. It means that prayer is one of the secondary causes that God planned from the beginning of the world in the outworking of his purposes. So, from eternity, God, for example, might say, Anders is going to pray for strength to make it through Thursday. All right? And I predetermine that I will use Anders's prayer for strength as one of the means whereby I will give him strength. All right, but it's still God's eternal plan that doesn't change, even though my prayers enter into that plan, into the outworking of that plan. But it's also a Catholic doctrine that God does not change. God is outside of time. God is metaphysically simple. God has no parts. God is omnipresent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent. And so my prayers don't change anything in God, but they can be an expression of what God has already predetermined to do. Now, the question, why do it at all? The principal reason to pray is not to change God, but to change me. Hence the petition in the Lord's Prayer, thy will be done on earth. Not God, let my will be done. God, let thy will be done.
Sure.
Right? That I come to move myself to value God's priorities. And so the reason Jesus gives us the specific petitions that he does in the Lord's Prayer is so that those are the kinds of things we will orient our life towards. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this daily bread. Forgive, my trespasses as I forgive my enemies even. And lead me not in temptation, deliver me from evil. If that's what I'm living my life for, then I'm coming more and more and more to share the mind of God, the mind of Christ, rather than say, God, let me win the lottery and, all these other things that I may be asking for.